What is going on, true believers? I hope you're having a great morning. My name is Bleaves. We are here to talk about this crazy, crazy crypto world. I hope that you've got your bags packed for what comes next. We're going to talk about some of the news. We're going to get into everything that's going on here. XRP, I thought the question of the day is, will this XRP pump continue? And I really thought that we were in a great place for a continuation. Do I think it was going to continue the entire time? The answer to that is no. I did not think it was going to continue all the way, because I told you guys, and I've made it known, that it is my opinion that we're going to have a big dump after the after we get the 25 BPS rate cut. I thought that was going to be a catalyst for just an absolute crashing of Bitcoin and other risk on assets as people manipulate the market to get ready for whatever comes next. And that's October and November, when things start to, get a little bit more aggressive and start to run a lot better. That's where you see the biggest gains in crypto, October and November. And what happened, though, was something entirely different. So we're going to talk about what happened with XRP. Will the XRP pump continue after having a very nice day? What one analyst thinks is about ready to happen. Then we're going to talk about Starknet, because they just approved a staking proposal, a new staking mechanism. We'll talk about that just a little bit. Polygon is up 15% because Binance just made an announcement. MicroStrategy bought 1.1 million in Bitcoin. BlackRock says that Bitcoin is a hedge against global disorder. What does that mean largely? Then we're going to take a quick look at Donald Trump's US dollar revival plan that a lot of people are now saying probably is going to hurt the United States if it's enacted. I don't know if I agree with that. Also, Kraken has now requested a jury trial for their lawsuit that the SEC filed against them under the allegations of operating unregistered securities exchange. So Kraken is going after the SEC as well. And really, what does that come down to? That would be my opinion, mind you. But my opinion would be that what they are doing is they're just delaying everything so that you can get a new president, a more pro crypto president. So if you delay this hearing just a little bit of time, then a new company comes in, then you get a little bit softer in your approach, things change dramatically, and that's what I think ends up happening. But we'll talk about all that and more. Remember, it's not financial advice. I'm always right.
I can read a chart like a Superman, and I've got a show that has a lot of fans. I'm streaming every day and almost every night. I bought some Bitcoin because I see the light. You might wonder who I am, but don't forget that I'm the man. They call me Please, I'll do any charts you want me to. They call me Please, I'll break the crypto wallet down. Channels streaming live at night, and I'm the only YouTube streamer who's always right. Every morning I go and say to all you guys, don't fall for all these motherfuckers and their lies. You might wonder who I am, but don't forget that I'm the man. They call me Please, I'll do any chart you want me to. They call me Please, I'll break your crypto wallet down for you, for you, for you. I don't know what to do because my memberships are missing you.
Guys, TerraCasino.io for all your risk-based gaming, PvP, poker, sports wagering, whatever it is that you're looking to do. Crypto trading, you can do it there too. You can play blackjack, any type of table game. Additionally, there's plenty of slot machines for you to choose from, and there is a
I'm about to drop some hugely powerful alpha. And that's what they call it. They call it alpha, believe me. Okay? And not many people know this, but alpha means that I know big things, strong things, powerful things. So here's the alpha, folks. If you want to be hugely rich like me, you got to join and subscribe to the Bleaves Crypto YouTube channel. You got to become a member because many people say, quite frankly, it's the strongest YouTube channel out there. It's fantastic. It's the best. So let me know what you think, folks. Funny Donald out.
And if you can't trust Donald Trump, who can you trust? All right, guys. So here we have the fear and greed index. Fear and greed index sitting right now at a low fear level of 32. Now, this has really kind of ranged here in the lower part, as you can see over here in the last 1 month. We went from 30 down to 25, all the way up into the 50s, and then we dumped back down. This is just a testament to sell in May and walk away. And then you get October and Upvember, I guess I want to say. And those are the things that you have going forward. So the market is about to roar. It's about to rip. We're about to have a really good run. The question, of course, is timing. And when is that time? And I think my mic was messed up there. So what is about to happen is, you know what, let's kind of break it down and let's look at the first piece. And the first piece is right here. What is going on with XRP? Well, in the last couple of hours, there's been some concerns raised because Ripple Labs has initiated a massive XRP transfer to an unknown wallet. This mysterious movement of funds has sparked concern in the community as members speculate about the reason behind the transfer. According to an on-chain tracker at Whale Alert, $85 million worth of XRP was just moved, 150 million. However, one fact about this transaction is that the unidentified wallet has received a series of Ripple inflows. Data reveals that the account has been activated since October of 2023. In this month of September alone, there's been a series of outflows from the account. The most recent outflow was 40 million XRP on September 10, while a more recent transaction of 12 million also left the account on September 12. As for inflows, the same wallet address received 200 million XRP from Ripple in August. Another transactional handshake occurred on July 9, where the same XRP tokens, 150 million, were moved to the address. The transactions have sparked speculation in the XRP community about whether the unidentified wallet belongs to an institutional investor. Others see the move as an impending bullish run for XRP, as it might be a cold storage wallet. Given the happenings of the crypto space, investors anticipate that a bullish win might soon hit XRP. Now, remember, just a couple of days ago, Grayscale announced that an XRP trust, the top asset manager, closed the fund previously after the legal battle between Ripple and the SEC. But in an earlier report, Ripple president Monica Long, while appearing as a guest on CNBC, says that an XRP ETF would make sense. Her analysis rested on the performance of XRP, which is among the top assets in all of crypto. So after pumping about 5.5%, at one point going up as much as 9%, it then came back down to around 56. So it's kind of sitting there waiting for just a bullish sort of move. Now, if we were to check the chart reveals that we're getting, and by the way, this is not exclusive to XRP. This is the broader market right now. And this is how it's playing out. But you can see right here, we've got this little pennant forming right now. And off of a big move like that, that usually is an indicator that there is more positive move afoot, that we're probably looking at some kind of pump getting ready to happen. So that's a consolidation signal right there. So is the pump going to continue? Well, it's complicated. Isn't that what they always say? So the question is, what is that wallet? And we don't know the answer to that. But what we do know is analysts are guessing about what is about to happen. So let's talk about this. TradingView analysis paralysis shared an expectation of the XRP price. In his case, he expects that the altcoin's price will rally, but not without first suffering a massive dump. And he thinks that the initial crash, the SEC's appeal, is expected to come before October 6th, during which time the XRP price will struggle because of the situation that we're in. Now, I believe this will be the catalyst this time around that causes XRP to crash just before it's going to go on a massive upward movement. And basically we're talking about, there has to be some sort of cleansing, right? There has to be some sort of, you got to pay for it, is the old saying, right? So where does he think it's going to go. And, to be fair, when you zoom out, there's really not a lot of uh, XRP has not been at 33 cents in a very, very long time. So let's take a look at the chart. And you can see here, we've got these indicators here. In my indicator, 38 cents is that move. Now, the question is, will this market absolutely bottom after we get the 50 BPS announcement, or the 25 BPS as it were? If it does, then it is possible that we're looking at this move with the idea to be that we're going to come down into this little range right here that hasn't been visited in a very, very long time. Now, as you zoom this out, you'll see this was a point of, let's put that right there towards the top of that range right there. As you see right there, it's about 32.5 cents all the way up to about 35.6. So this range is what he feels is going to be the next move. Now, his idea is that the market will crash all the way down as low as 33 cents. However, after this, fireworks are expected to follow as the price begins an uptrend. From here, it's expected to clear $1 easily. Now, why would that be the case? Well, obviously, if you dump that hard, then there are a lot of buy orders that are going to be set up that'll be triggered all the way down there for people who are looking to, look, there's those moments when something radical and crazy and incredible happens, right? That's what they're looking to see. That's what he thinks is going to happen. We're going to see one of those big dumps and then big pumps. So as for how high the XRP price could go, he believes that it could rise as high as $8.80. And I would not, I would not bet against that. You really kind of have to look at it from a longer term perspective. You want to do that? You do. Thanks. All right. So, what you have to do is basically, and I said $3. So going from the bottom to the top up here, what is he looking for? I'm assuming at some point this has to be him looking at a golden ratio of some sort. So we pull a fib tool here and we go down here to the bottom. We come up here to the top, and then we look at where it might go, and that puts us right there. And the top of the market says that the golden ratio is actually $5. So basically, he's going 60%. Is that it? Yeah, 60% higher than the golden ratio of minus 1.61 of 161.8%, which seems to be kind of aggressive. That seems like a really big it seems like a really big move there. I'm not really sure that I would agree with that possibility. So you have to look at it from another context. Like, where do we, how do we come up with that? And you look at maybe this market cap. In this market cap, if you 10x, you're at about 320 billion market cap. That's going to put you a little bit higher than Ethereum, but that would also give you about a $5.69 XRP. So just spitballing here, by the way. So we're in a bull run. The top of the bull run in the previous cycle, XRP did not meet because of the SEC. So what do we end up seeing in the top of that one? We saw $1.93. So let's talk about mass adoption, number one, and where could it go from there, right? And it really doesn't go 10x in any context from there. So what I would think here is XRP would lead the next level of worldwide payment systems, whether it be the US dollar, the yen, the euro, whatever currency, you can transfer quickly and you can do whatever you need to do using that XRP ledger. So if that is mass adopted, a 10x from here is not unheard of. But again, it only puts it around $6 at best. So there has to be more. We have to be able to find more to cause an even bigger pump. But it is inherent upon us to recognize that XRP might just be the most important crypto in all of crypto long term. Bitcoin will always be the store of value. This will always be the gold, most likely. Now, what is not the gold and what has been a problem is Ethereum. Ethereum has not done very well. BNB has not done. And by the way, when I say not done very well, it's done very well in terms of market shares and getting people onboarded. But Ethereum is not great. Ethereum is the backbone by which everything else would be built on. One of those things being built was BNB, but they've had their struggles and they've had their problems. And then the other one is Solana with only about 4.7 billion locked up in it compared to 50 billion for Ethereum. So that leaves right here the number one big dog, and then Toncoin and Tron. Now, Toncoin and Tron most likely not the ones that are going to make a big move. Okay, so this, eliminate your by process of elimination. We're not talking about Toncoin. We're not talking about Tron. XRP by default is that option. So if that is the option, then it would be potential to consider what does it take to get to a $1 trillion market cap? Well, that'd be about a 30x. What would a 30x be? And that would be about a $16, $17 XRP at a $1 trillion market valuation. And look, I know for a lot of people saying that a $1 trillion valuation is just obscene and unheard of. Well, Bitcoin's already there and it doesn't do anything. So something that actually functions and does, it could be that next one. And again, Ethereum is the backbone for this. Ethereum is the backbone for this. Ethereum is the backbone for a lot of different optimism. There's a whole bunch of different blockchains that are built out here. The Xmatic is also built on there. So when you start to break down, you go down these blockchains, then you find that Ethereum and for good reason, supportive of all of this stuff here. Okay, and that's fine. But the problem here is that it's not facilitating worldwide commerce, right? XRP is about that worldwide commerce. So of the things that become valuable, just like Nvidia becoming the biggest corporation in the world, almost out of nowhere. I mean, they're video game manufacturer. They manufacture video game cards, and now they're doing AI and mining, and they've converted their business plan and become something much bigger, right? They became a multi-trillion-dollar. So it could be that XRP is on that path as well. If they become the payment settlement organization, then, and by the way, just go look for whatever does the payment settlements right now across the world. Go look at the valuation of that company, and then kind of give your perspective here that, XRP could be $1 trillion company. So, we're talking about $16 XRP. And by the way, initially, what you'd be looking at for $8.90 is, I think, in my opinion, that he's probably looking at $500 billion market cap, and that he's just spitballing that a $500 billion market cap. And I bet if I broke this down, then 500 billion, let's see, 500 divided by 32 is 15.65 times 0.569 equals $8.89. Guys, I didn't mean for it to be that easy. I didn't mean for it to be that easy. But this guy's idea here is where did it go? $8.80. Why did he come up with that number? Because he said 500 billion market cap for XRP. So there it is, solved for you. So let's move on from there. 500 billion market cap would give you an $8.80. And by the way, guys, it's not unreasonable. It is not unreasonable in any way to see something like that happen. So shout out if you're holding a bag of XRP. I think you're going to be in really, really good shape. Next up, Starknet. Starknet community approves a Stark staking protocol. Users holding over 20,000 Stark will soon have access to a new staking mechanism for the token following a near unanimous vote. The Ethereum Layer 2 network, another Ethereum Layer 2, but the large majority of Stark token holders approved the governance proposal, SNP 18, to implement staking within Starknet. Of the 0.08 of eligible voters, 98.4 voted in favor of the proposal, 0.6 voted against it, and 0.45 abstained. The voting on the Stark staking parameters was concluded massively. The vote paved the way for Stark to introduce Stark staking on testnet soon before the mainnet launch by the end of the year. Once launched on mainnet, Starknet will allow users with over 20,000 Stark holdings to stake their tokens subject to a 21-day time lock period. Where have I heard that before? Before funds can be withdrawn. The proposal also approved a new minting curve mechanism, allowing for a dynamic adjustment of Stark supply in response to staking participation rate. This feature aims to balance staking incentives while meeting inflation expectations. So Stark surged to a daily high of 40 cents on Friday, due partly to the news. The token is down 90% from its all-time high of 366 right now. At press time, it's sitting right at about 39 cents. So market cap of 699 million. Now, look, I think that I don't know that it is, by the way. I don't know if it will, but Starknet, if you really break down what I'm showing you right here, this is a gigantic ecosystem. This is not something that's small at all. This is a big time ecosystem full of let's go look at, boom. As we go down the list of projects in the Stark infrastructure, for wallets, you have Opera, Bravos, Ledger, Argent. Let's pop this up on the screen here. You've got this whole ecosystem here. Again, you've got the wallets, Fox Wallets, Ethereum, Web3 Authority, Wallet Connect. For tools, you've got Equilibrium, Warp, Voyager, TokenFlow, ApeWorks, Alchemy, Aragon, Chainlink, Dapnode, Lambda. For infrastructure, you've got Mostar, Infuriata, Chainstack, Seller, Matchbox, Figment, Snapshot, Giza, Wub. You got Vortex Finance. In DeFi, you've got Jedi Swap, Arcopolis, Stark DeFi, Magnity, MySwap. You've got a very, very big ecosystem out here with a lot going on. And up here at the top, by the way, this is your gaming sort of stuff up here. So you've got Imperium Wars, you've got Immutable X, you've got Influence, you've got Redline, Oasis, Bitmap Box, Bricks, StartKit, you've got Realms, you've got Dop War, you've got Musicverse, you've got Game of L2, you've got Ether Quest, you've got StarKid, you've got Starkle, Grail, and Exothium. Exothium. I would say Exothium, but look, they've got a big ecosystem out here that's developed and or being developed. And look, and here's the thing. I think because of its natural wink, wink, and a nod to Tony Stark, which I think is kind of where the idea came from, right? I think because of that, this has an opportunity to be in that public lexicon, especially when you consider there's going to be a lot of conversation about Iron Man and Tony Stark in the next few years as Robert Downey Jr. is Dr. Doom. Now, you might say to yourself, that doesn't make any sense. Like, why would, why is that a thing? Well, look, Marvel, at some point, I get a sense here that you might even see something called Jarvis pop up on Starknet, and it'll be some kind of AI that, again, I don't know for sure. And it won't be the name Jarvis, because Jarvis and Starknet's going to be a little too, it's probably going to be a little too, what do you call it? Intellectual property stealing-ish. So it'll be Starvis on Starknet or something like that, but you'll get the idea. You'll get the idea. So, I think there's an opportunity here for Starknet to really, really rip and roar. So following this development, there's a lot of attention being paid to Stark right now. So maybe, just maybe, your bag of Starknet, if you have one, is going to start ripping. But on to other news, Polygon is in the news one more time, because guess what? Polygon is up, 15% on the day. Now, I'm still using, by the way, Matic when I look at it overall, and we're looking at it. Let's see what it did right here. You guys can see it because it broke out, and I mean broke out. And there it is right there. These are the candles that you've been waiting for. This is the move that you've been looking for, right? Went all the way up to 44.8 cents after being right here in this little 37-cent range. on the news from Binance. Now, you might be asking yourself, what is the news from Binance? And Binance, in an official announcement by Binance dated September 13, they revealed that it is extending support for a plethora of Polygon listings. As per the announcement, Polygon simple, earn flexible, and locked products will be available to users starting September 13 at 10 UTC. Further, users may purchase the asset using any payment options supported on Auto Invest starting September 16th. Also, users can buy the crypto with Visa, MasterCard, Google Pay, and Apple Pay. Binance added. In addition, the announcement revealed that Polygon will be added as a new borrowable asset on cross and isolated margins. PolUSD, USDT, USDC, and FDUSD pairs on cross and isolated margin will be available as of today at 12 UTC. Simultaneously, they will also launch. This is a big announcement, by the way. We'll also launch a USD marginalized perpetual contract for Polygon today. Users can enjoy up to 75x leverage trading the asset. The maximum funding rate is +2 or -2% per the announcement. So, in another announcement, the crypto exchange revealed that it has concluded token upgrades on Pol. So, spot trading has commenced again for Pol, BNB, BRL, BTC, Ethereum, Euro, FDUSD, JPY, Tri, USDC, USDT, and all of that is ready to go. So that means that Binance is fully supporting this new paradigm for Matic, now called Polygon, which makes more sense, by the way. You know what I mean? It makes way more sense. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, John Donnie asked me what I think of Hamster Kombat. I don't think of Hamster Kombat. However, I was kind of forced to because there was some news, and if you give me just a moment, I can tell you what it was. I did see that there was something going on with Hamster Kombat just this morning. I think, anyway. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. Look, I know I saw something about Hamster Kombat just this morning. So, I feel like there's something to it. So I'll let you know. I'll let you know. I meant to pay more attention to it. I really did, in fact. So it's ironic that you're bringing it up. As a matter of fact, let me try. And it could be that somebody told me that I can go get it on Google Play. That might be what it was. News. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Yeah. So there was this was in Ton News. It was in Ton News, and that's what it was. It was from Decrypt. So let me pull that up for you. It's a little sidetrack, I know, but Hamster Kombat and Catizen Telegram token demand could disrupt Ton. So airdrop season 1 of the open network is getting here, and developers admit that demand could get better in this network. So one of the airdrops that looks to be coming, a flood of Hamster Kombat and Catizen players attempting to claim their rewards token later this month may not be all good news for the network, Ton developers warned this week. Ton will undoubtedly face more technical pressures and possibly some unforeseen issues. The warning comes as the network contends with recent service outages precipitated by an explosion in tap to earn gaming and mini app activity tied to messaging app Telegram. So Hamster Kombat has attracted a large number of players, over 300 million players as of late July, with Telegram in-app data showing nearly 86 million active users in the last month alone. The team has said that all players will be eligible for the Hamster token airdrops on Ton when it arrives on September 26. These levels of user engagement were unimaginable in Web3 before. So a lot of people super excited about Hamster Kombat. So for me, I guess what I should say in this is you're going to be pretty bullish about Hamster Kombat. However, of course, when people claim their tokens, there's going to be a massive sell-off. So I would be interested to see how this goes. Short term, probably a dump. Long term, probably an interesting little pump that's going to happen on Hamster Kombat. It seems like this hamster thing is kind of taking over the Ton network. And look, Ton needs that kind of volume. They need that kind of traffic. So this would be a good opportunity, or could be a good opportunity anyway. So if you're looking for Hamster Kombat, if you're playing the game, I don't know when the snapshot is taken or anything like that, but you know what I mean? Like that, it should be interesting to see. Trail Boss, thank you for the $5 bomb. Trump said no tax on overtime. I'm not sure that's doable. I'm not sure Congress would go for that, but we're actually going to be talking about that in just a few minutes, because somebody, even though I think it's a great idea, somebody doesn't think it's a good idea and thinks it's going to kill the American economy if Trump does what he announced yesterday. I think I disagree, but we'll talk about it pretty soon. Next up, Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor just bought another 1.1 billion in Bitcoin, and MicroStrategy stock started to rip again. MicroStrategy acquired 18,300 Bitcoin for 1.1 billion at 60,408 per Bitcoin, and has achieved Bitcoin yield of 4.4% quarter to date and 17% year to date. As of 9/12, we hodl 244,800 Bitcoin acquired for 9.4 billion at an average price of 38,585. Imagine that you just bought $1.1 billion worth of Bitcoin at 60,408, and your DCA is still an average of 38,585. Adopt me, Michael Saylor. Jesus Christ. Unbelievable. Not to be outdone, BlackRock just gave a statement. $9 trillion asset manager BlackRock says that Bitcoin is a hedge against global disorder and geopolitical uncertainty. In a statement, the company called Bitcoin a global monetary alternative. According to BlackRock, the asset could serve as a hedge against increasing global disorder and declining trust in governments, banks, and fiat currency. So, BlackRock's head of thematic and active ETFs, Jay Jacobs, painted a similar picture back in June about how vital Bitcoin is to the future of finance. Jacobs said that the digital assets industry is blowing up, and investors have loved the IBIT ETF since its launch. Bitcoin is a nascent asset. It's only 1/10 of the size of the gold market. So, you could be looking, imagine if it's 1/5 the size of the gold market. Imagine it continues to grow and it becomes 1/5 that size. You know what? That's a 5x. That puts at current prices, that puts Bitcoin at $300,000. That's insane to think about. Therefore, it has high volatility, behaves a bit differently than stocks and bonds. A lot of investors look at it as a potential hedge against monetary risk. Other investors look at it as a way to play futures adoptions of blockchain technology. In either case, investors must take a measured approach to Bitcoin, considering both risk and potential return. So BlackRock, super bullish, super into it. Big thing, right? This is a very big thing. When you've got BlackRock out here talking about it, when you've got MicroStrategy out here, we've got this guy's name is wrong, saying Hamster Kombat is the most played in India, African countries, according to the audience on YouTubers report. So if Hamster Kombat is the most played game, that means that they're earning yield off of it. And remember, this is what they were doing with, what was that other game that they were, oh, son of a bitch. Now I got to go back here. It's not Mana. What was the other game? Axie Infinity. That's what it was. Axie Infinity was the one. They were earning a bunch of money off of Axie Infinity. So if they're earning and making money off of it just to play a video game, why aren't you? You know what I mean? So get in now before Hamster Kombat really takes off. And by the way, what's the market cap on it? I guess that's going to be important. I don't see a Hamster Kombat token here. I see a Hamster Kombat with USDT. I see that the white paper, we're building a gaming platform. All right, so Hamster token is not out yet. Okay, so if Hamster is not out yet and it's going to launch on September 26th on Binance, I think it's going to blow up. So if you're getting some Hamster Kombat tokens, then shout out to you, because damn, I think this is about to get real serious for a lot of people. If you don't have Hamster Kombat, you probably missed out. So let's talk now about this. We're going to do this just for Trail Boss. So Donald Trump has a U.S. revival plan. And what I'm showing to you right now on this chart is how money is trending right now, with the idea on this that this is foreign exchange holdings in US dollars. Okay. So if you look at the blue with the white line right there, that is the US dollar holdings over the last, and this basically, by the way, is the last 20 or so years, 25 years, whatever it is. And as you can see here, there was a time when up to 72 billion in US dollars on the left side of the screen were being held, and that's now down to less than 60 billion for the last couple of years. Now, the holdings appear to be going up in 2024, but you can clearly see that there is a negative sort of downtrend. Now, in euros, you can see the same thing playing out. You can see that euros are now a bit higher than the US dollar, despite having been, only created not that long ago. So at one point going up to about 73 billion, currently settling at around 62, higher than the US dollar. And then the big one is the yuan, which is the one in green right there, saying that it's pumped super hard in the last bunch of years since 2017 when it was launched, and now being held mostly by, well, look, by a lot of people. So here's what's happening. Trump came out with a tariff system, and the tariff was based on the former president has vowed to protect the US dollar's prestige by announcing a new plan to levy a 100% tariff on countries moving away from the US dollar. But will it be worth it in the long haul? Will it help the US dollar, or will it plummet further down the drain? So, and by the way, for those of you that want a picture of a dollar, there you go. You got yourself a nice little picture of Trump on a dollar bill, $100 bill. Donald Trump, in one of his rallies in Wisconsin, announced a new approach to protecting the U.S. dollar from declining popularity. And he shared that if he becomes president again, he'll levy 100% tariff on countries that have decided to move away from the U.S. currency. His plan was carefully curated after several economist discussions and is intended to protect the dollar from further global harm. This roughly entails imposing heavy taxes on countries that are actively exploring the idea of de-dollarization. This includes alliances like BRICS and ASEAN, which build alternative native currencies to move away from the dollar. Now, the question is, will this affect and will this cause a problem in the government? And look, what they're saying is that this is going to cause a collapse of the US dollar. I don't think so. That doesn't make any sense to me. Well, if you just consider a couple of things. Number one, let's say that right now, China is part of BRICS, and they're going to use the yuan. Okay, well, everything that you get from China is now is now twice as expensive. Now, if that pushes the price of things up, that also creates more competition, and it creates a barrier to for the United States to allow for the United States to start manufacturing again. And if people are saying that this is a bad thing, I don't think that they're looking at it the right way. This could create a boom for the U.S. economy and the U.S. exports. Now, here's the issue, of course, would be who's the U.S. exporting the most to? And if it's China, then China is going to impose a tariff as well. So what we should remember is that there would be a tariff going both ways, most likely, that they would retaliate in some way. So ASEAN is vying to become a neutral nation and may begin a center stage for alternative goods, Malaysian Trade Minister said in one of his interviews in Hong Kong. In a world where supply chain reconfiguration is geopolitically motivated, many global companies and MNCs also need a neutral, peace-loving partner, and that partner is ASEAN. It's emerging as one of the world's power hubs, attracting holistic global attention in the process. The bloc is attracting a rapid increase in FDI metrics with 224 billion in 2022. It will not be an easy task politically. In the long run, we will all be winners, but some will win more than others. But this is far better for ASEAN's greatest goods than for everyone who competes on their own and alone. So, the question is, and let's pop over here to this one right here. Donald Trump threatens to impose a 100% tariff on countries that conduct business in currency other than the US dollar. Trump, who has long embraced protectionist trade policy, said the dollar has been under major siege by Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, BRICS. Discussed the de-dollarization summit. By contrast, Trump has said he wants the dollar to remain the world's reserve currency, a pledge he renewed on Saturday. While dollar's dominance has lessened in recent decades, the U.S. currency still accounted for 59% of official FX reserves in Q1, and euro was second at almost 20%. So there is certainly some call for, and there will be some call for increased tariffs to increase American production, thus increasing American exports. It should stand to reason that that would be the case, and that would be an exciting thing, and I don't think that it's bad. But economists are certainly concerned about it in the short term. Will it cause a collapse in the U.S. price or in the U.S. dollar? Are we over hedging? Again, there would be a retaliation from every one of these nations who are taxed at 100% or something like that, that they would say, well, you know what, we're going to tariff you as well. So it would just become a tariff war. And if we go back and remember it, according to Donald Trump and MAGA, of course, America won with China. But let's take a real step back and let's really look at it. Those tariffs, and the Biden administration, by the way, did not remove those tariffs. They left those tariffs on. But what was the result of all of that? I want you to go look at your wallet. I want you to go look at your prices. And I want you to remember how much stuff is made in China in the United States. And then I want you to go back to MAGA and have them tell you, hey, are prices up or are prices down? And when they say, oh, prices are up, why? Because the tariff is passed on to the U.S. consumer. So this is a potential problem. If it's passed on to the consumer and prices of goods go up, then it eats into your ability, right? So when they blame Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, there's plenty of blame for them, but you also have to remember that a 20% tariff on goods raised the price of everything by a minimum of 20%. And then you have the handling of COVID, which, by the way, both administrations mishandled drastically. So with all of those, then it allowed for all of this. And by the way, you don't have to believe me. You can just look at corporate profits. Corporate profits are at record numbers. The market, the stock market is at record numbers. Under the Biden administration, who was going to collapse and crash everything, not even close. It's still pumping, right? Donald Trump it was going to collapse everything. Nuh-uh. It's still pumping. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's all just continuing to pump. So the market just decided to absorb those tariffs, raise prices on everything, and find new methods by which they can continue to pump their bags. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, that's exactly what happened. So there's blame to go around. And I don't think that this is a bad thing. I just think, again, the Americans are the ones that are going to pay for it. Short term, it's going to be a problem in that, goods and prices of goods on everything just going to continue to go up because we're adding and increasing the tariffs. And then, of course, they're just going to pass it on to the consumer. So in the short term, there's going to be some probably negative sentiment, but with higher exports, that would probably offset, because then the value of the US dollar or the value of the US jobs market would start to go up. And Trail Boss is saying, well, no, you are wrong. Prices are because gas prices, period. Everything revolves around gas. Well, gas is $2.79 nationally, and prices do not match gas prices, because you can say that and you can be like, well, yeah, that's exactly what it is. But in Barack Obama years, gas prices were up to like $4 at one point because there was a shortage of gas, but the price of goods and services did not increase exponentially based upon that. So you can say it, and we can say, well, there's some validity to it, of course, because extended gas prices being higher does create a problem. And that is, there is going to be some justification to it, but no. If you say that, then explain to me, and I will ask Trail Boss, explain to me how Walmart is in record profit territory. Just explain to me how, if they're absorbing a 20% tariff on China, they can have a record profit, if that's the case. Explain to me how Target, who's just kind of remade their business, by the way, is still incredibly profitable each and every quarter if that is the case. Explain to me how Nvidia is continuing to sell all of the stuff that they're selling if that is the case. I mean, you have to go back, and you have facts might hurt your feelings, but they're still facts. Gas prices, yes, there is an enormous cost to gas prices. And by the way, a month ago, I said the same thing. Gas prices are an obstacle, and it does cause things to cost more. But in the end, that should reduce maximum profit by Walmart. That should reduce maximum profit by all of these different retailers, but it's not. Their profit margins continue to go up. So there's something else. They're gouging customers. Gas prices, yes, there's a whole bunch of stuff that is, and by the way, there are a lot of moving parts to it. I understand that. Gas is only one of those parts. It's not, period. That's not the end of the discussion. Otherwise, again, there wouldn't be record profits. And by the way, there are record profits for oil companies. Remember, we saw that for from 2021 to 2023 that they were making just ridiculous amounts of profit. So it's not just because they're causing this all to happen, yes, but it's not the end of it. It's just a piece of it. So, and everybody's failing you in that regard. Everybody is, because guess what? We produce more oil and gas today than we did during any Donald Trump years, but the price is still $2.70 compared to, I think it's about $1.90 when Trump left. And look, you can say, well, when Trump left, it was $1.90, but let's broaden that and say, well, it was $1.90 or $1.80, or it was cheaper for a longer period of time. Okay. So, we do have to at least recognize that. Donald Trump, for gas prices, Donald Trump was a fantastic person when it came to the oil companies. Now, the question is, some of the different pieces that are coming out is no tax on tips that Donald Trump's going with. There's no tax on overtime that he's going with. There were a couple different things that he was shooting out. And look, I don't think that there's any way for people to manage this process. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know that there's any kind of way that you can manage this. There were three different things that I think that he was doing, and I don't know exactly what they are, but we'll figure that out at a later point. But look, somebody says it doesn't work. I disagree with them. I think that this will work. And I think that it will increase wages in the United States because we'll have more exports, or we'll be working with more refined nations, if you will, or fewer nations, if you will. And it's good. It's good to have China out there. But if we're not trading with China, who cares? You know what I mean? We'll find somebody else will step up. Somebody else will step up. It's just the way that it works. So moving on from that, Kraken, this is awesome. Kraken seeks a jury trial to contest the SEC's allegation of operating unregistered securities exchange. They want to go in front of a court of their peers instead of just having a judge to decide. So Kraken has now demanded a jury trial after its motion to dismiss was denied. In November of 2023, the SEC charged Payward and Payward Ventures, the company behind Kraken, with operating the digital asset platform with unregistered securities. The regulator listed Solana, Cardano, Algorand, Atom, Cosmos, Filecoin, Flow, ICP, Mana, Matic, Near, and OMG tokens as unregistered securities. Why? Because they're all proof of stake mechanisms. While Kraken sought to dismiss the lawsuit, the district court denied the motion. The SEC has made similar allegations in its lawsuits against Binance and Coinbase. Kraken has tried to work with the SEC to make registration feasible, but the industry's efforts have been stonewalled at every step, as the SEC has instead chosen to pursue a strategy of fighting with its sister regulators for enforcement authority its chair admitted it did not have, which is true. So Kraken alleged that the SEC has never clarified which transactions on Kraken constitute investment contracts. It stated that digital assets cannot be financial security as they do not carry the rights and obligations of stocks, bonds, and other financial assets. The exchange also stated it does not acknowledge specific terms used by the SEC in its complaint, such as crypto asset securities, Kraken traded securities, proprietary assets, and investors. The exchange argued that these terms are ambiguous or undefined. This is a common criticism among crypto firms who claim that the SEC uses vague or made-up terms to justify securities violations. Mr. Bone Dangle says, how can you be in crypto and vote for Kamala Harris? you could actually, I think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to do that. By the way, when you look at it, there are more people who are leftists are holding crypto right now than people who are on the right. That was a survey that was done over the last year by a lot of these major institutions. And leftists, it appear, really like Bernie, Bernie Bros and stuff like that early on, were early adopters of cryptocurrency and stuff like that. So there's going to be a wing of it that are Democrats. And if crypto is not a hot button for you, then you won't care. So there are going to be some people who are crypto that are going to vote for Kamala Harris. It would be my opinion. I'm not telling you who to vote for. It's not my business who you vote for. But crypto adoption, I think, is better served with Donald Trump than it is. If crypto adoption is your single hot button topic, then it really shouldn't be a debate. Donald Trump is pro-crypto, and Kamala Harris has not made a statement on crypto at all. Nothing. So, so again, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not telling you who to vote for. I mean, do whatever you got to do. But still, it's very important to recognize that is the case. So anyway, so Kraken, while not directly responding to the Kraken filing, the SEC clarified its position in an amended complaint. The agency stated that the term crypto asset securities does not refer to the crypto asset itself and regrets any confusion it may have caused with the term. So Ripple then said, I think it's time for the SEC to admit it has become a twisted pretzel of contradictions, because what you're seeing is you're seeing they've taken back crypto asset securities because they should not have put it in the complaint. That was one of their hot button words that they were trying to sneak past somebody. Kraken fought that, and then the SEC said, "Oh, my bad, I didn't mean that." So what is it that they're talking about? And that's the whole thing. What is the crypto asset securities? What are they talking about? And by the way, the answer is they're bundling them up into a staking protocol. I can tell you this already. They're bundling up the assets to be used by a third party for a staking purpose to give people rewards. That's going to be the problem. And that's what they're going to say is a securities, because it creates an expectation of profit. That's what bundling the assets and adding them to a third party does in this context. And I'm pretty sure that that's what we're going to find with the SEC. And I don't know how they're going to rule on that, but you are entitled to a jury trial. So let's see what happens. Kraken putting in the work. So let's now talk about what is going on in crypto, crapdo, trado, whatever. Oops, we still got that on. Got to remove the frame. All right, so we saw what happened over on Polygon. Let's look at Bitcoin right now, 58,277. You're seeing it's not curling up the same way as the rest of the market. Notice that a lot of these altcoins are creating pennant flags. Bitcoin's not really creating a pennant flag. Bitcoin is just continuing to mint higher lows over here, and it looks like it's creating a breakout scenario. That's working for it right now. The question at this point, of course, is one of how high can it go and what is the limit? And right now, that limit would appear to be kind of in this range right here, kind of in this range right here. When we zoom out just a little bit, we're on the 1 hour, so it's very difficult to kind of get a gauge of it. But if we zoom out here to the 1 day and we start looking at it in this context, then there is some possibility of a breakout. Remember what I told you guys before, that, I would be expecting something to break out into that 68,000 range. So it could be that we're preparing for that test at 68,000. Also, if you look at this is kind of an outlier. Let's call that an outlier, because if you look at this, that path seems to be more like that right there, with this one being kind of an outlier. As a matter of fact, let's look at that and let's remove that right there. And let's just say that, that's just 2 points right there. I don't think that was the way it was going. But if we look at it from this context right here, then we start to get a lot of different position right there. So really, we're just looking at this. We're just kind of ranging right here. Now, the heart line of that is going to be right here. And you'll see how much action there is on that line as well. So the question will be what comes next. And, we might have a run up to 59,150, But after that, I don't know what that next play looks like, because when you zoom in, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've had 6 out of the last 7 days have been good. But here's the thing. It seems like we're getting muted at this point. I thought we would have a nice little run. Again, I thought that we were going to get a nice little explosive move leading into this dump. And if you're talking about it from down here, you can make an argument that we're pumping up into here. Maybe we come into 60,000 range or something like that. I mean, if you look at it, then we're still kind of moving in this direction. So up to this point, it doesn't even pass 60,000. By the way, if we're just continuing what we're doing right now, kind of trying to break through resistance. And so, but if we hit that kind of resistance level, then remember, this thing is going to happen here. We're going to get that rate cut. And it is my opinion that we are going to test that line one more time at 52,000. So then, by the way, that will be the end of it. And we will be in October, or Uptober, as they say. And I think that we would have from that point, massive breakout to start minting new highs. So that's what I think this looks like. That's how this market, in my opinion, most likely plays out. That would be my guess as to what's going to happen here. So, and we don't need to go over all the other ones. I think basically everything right now is just in a consolidation phase, waiting for that next big move. So, hopefully we get a continuation of this upward momentum. Now, just to remind you guys, I'm still short on this. So I am certainly hoping for that downward momentum to hit at any moment to get me back into this range right here. By the way, I did buy right here, or no, I bought a short right here on the way, thinking that we would maybe wick up to here possibly, but that we'd probably come down. And when you look at it on the 1 hour, it made sense at that time. We didn't just kind of rip through that level right there. So when we were kind of ranging right here, I thought we were about to get rejected off of it. So I put a low level short. So I'm not worried about getting liquidated or anything like that. But I did think it was going to come back down at that 52 range, and it did not. So, we'll see whether or not, I might get liquidated. It's only like $100, but still, I don't like losing $100. So watch for another pump in the market. Looks like maybe we'll get a nice day going. And from there, we go into the weekend. Probably not much pump in the weekend. They could be weak. There could be weak demand, and we could go down. There could be strong demand, we could go up, leading into the BPS notification. It's coming in a couple days, and then we will know. We'll have some more clarity, and we will start to see rate cuts, and that would mean liquidity being injected into the markets. Liquidity injected into the markets means price go up. So that's long term. But in the short term, I do think that we've got one more correction to that downside. And by the way, most people are telling you it's gonna hurt, right? That's the question at this point. The last time we did this, it came down to 49,453. And remember, if we just take that this right here is representative of the actual trend like this, then we could be looking at, a lot of people were saying, if you remember this, people were talking about going to 44,000. Well, 44,000 that's the breakdown to right around here. So if that were to be the case, there is a possibility that happens. So I'm not exactly sure yet. We'll let you know. Anyway, that's my time. Oh, by the way, let me show you what that looks like on the chart here. Again, sideways motion right here in this line. Remember, this line is now down here again. I moved it, but it would look like to me something like this move to the downside right there, taking us into that 44,000 range. That is a possibility. That is a possibility. So, hold on for dear life, because ultimately, when you start to zoom out, we're talking about right now, we're talking about a kind of a bearish scenario, but are we really? Because that pennant is still playing. And again, that pennant could still be like this instead of all the way down there, that broadening wedge. I don't know that broadening wedge. I think that's an outlier dump that happened over there. So that outlier sort of thing right there, again, I think there's a possibility that we could see, by the way, we could see that 25 basis points be just an absolute explosive move. I don't think that we will, but it is possible that that happens. So let me know what you think in the comments. And remember, it's not financial advice. I'm always right. Thank you so much for tuning in, and time to pay the bills. I'll see you on Monday. Over the next few months, there's going to be several major announcements for Cryptonomy.finance. Guys, the bull run is about to kick off. That is a big deal. And in conjunction with that, I am continuing to accumulate more and more of my favorite cryptocurrencies. Let me show you what happened. I earned 0.037 Bitcoin off of this in over 6 months. I staked 0.21 Bitcoin right here and got 0.0124 on a 3-month window. Now I'm going to make another deposit because, as you can see here, I'm big on XRP. We're going to do one more big XRP deposit, 10,000 more XRP, 6-month staking process. That's a 32% yield. Also, let me show you, I just made a withdrawal over here, 0.09 Bitcoin off of my last flexible staking option. And finally, and this is the big one, guys, I keep telling you this, it's the Launchpool. Get into the Launchpool, create a contract. I'm going to make a new contract with 6 Ethereum right now. It's a bronze contract. Profit sharing is 50-50. We're going to do that right now. Done. All right, guys, that's what we're doing. We've got a bunch of these set up. Remember this last one that I completed. Look, I can't tell you how important it is for you to stake your crypto. You see the numbers right there. Start staking with Cryptonomy.finance today.